welcome to another World Geography podcast. Today's topic, Russia and Central Asia.
Hey guys, my name is Cody. I decided to set out and touch Russia. That's right, I'm gonna get my hands all over it. It's only about 55 miles away. I'm headed to Moscow. Now it's your turn to touch Russia.
Russia and Central Asia span two continents, Europe and Asia. The region covers 11 time zones.
Climates vary depending on the region. Climate influences the vegetation. The following are found in the region: tundra, which is shrubs, mosses, and wildflowers found on the northern coast; taiga, evergreen forests of spruces, fir, and pine; permafrost, permanently frozen soil beneath the Earth's surface; or Chernozem, located on semi-arid climates, grasslands that contain Chernozem or black earth.
Siberia means the sleeping land. It is located east of the Ural Mountains. It is known for its harsh climate and cold temperature. Has many natural resources.
Taiga, the large evergreen forest that covers 2/3 of Russia. It provides wood for building.
Ночью гроза, а на утро туман. Солнце остыло совсем. Давние боли идут чередой. Пусть собираются все.
Chernozem is fertile soil found in the steppe and means black earth.
Most Chernozem is found in the Fertile Triangle of eastern Russia. Most of Russia's farming occurs here, especially winter wheat.
The Caucasus Mountains separate Russia from Southwest Asia.
The Ural Mountains divide Europe from Asia.
The major rivers of Russia are the Volga, which flows south and is important for transportation and hydroelectric power, the Amur, which is far east Russia and borders with China, and the Ob, which flows north into the North Sea.
The Caspian Sea is really a landlocked lake connected to waterways like the Volga River. Lake Baikal is the deepest lake in the world. It's 5,000 feet deep. It holds 1/6 of the world's fresh water.
The Bering Strait separates North America and Asia. Russia lacked human and capital resources. It has harsh climate over much of its land, has limited transportation links, and the country is very vast. It has natural resources but cannot be easily developed.
The natural resources of the region are oil, natural gas, and minerals.
Alan! 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 Al! Alan! 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 Alan!
Oil reserves are found near the Caspian Sea region. Countries don't have the capital resources to explore. There is much foreign competition investment in this region.
The Aral Sea is located between Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. It's shrinking due to irrigation from cotton farms. In Chernobyl, Ukraine, there was a nuclear meltdown in 1986. It was a disaster in former Soviet Union and caused widespread radiation pollution.
Close and still dangerous. Chernobyl's Reactor 4, the scene of the total meltdown 25 years ago. Exactly the crisis that scientists in Japan have been battling to avoid. It was and remains the world's worst nuclear accident. Dozens of people were killed, thousands more died from cancer, among them soldiers ordered to the front line of the cleanup. A quarter of a century on, we were given extremely rare access into the contaminated reactor block, but only briefly and in special clothing and face masks that remain on site. The radiation we absorbed was carefully monitored. The passage of time means levels are much lower now, except deep inside the concrete-entombed reactor at the melted core itself.
And this is the control room of Reactor 4, the place where the men who were running it that day were working. And for a while they knew that something was going wrong, but they didn't realise that there had been a massive explosion in the main hall just 50 metres away, and the whole reactor was in meltdown.
Unit 4 is an eerie place, and because its radioactive debris is still not properly contained, it remains a threat to the wider world.
It looks better from the outside than the inside. If you were able to go into the central hall today and look out, you would find that there's holes the size of picture windows at various locations in the object shelter. It's it's a problem that needs to be dealt with.
The structure will gradually be completed with the rest.
There are ambitious but expensive plans to build a vast new cover for the reactor. This would finally make Chernobyl safe for 100 years, containing any radiation if the reactor building collapsed. The city of Pripyat, from which 50,000 people fled in an afternoon, is still contaminated and abandoned.
Work at the plants now.
Andrei Glukov lived here and had been due to operate Reactor 4 that day, but his shift changed.
When I see the kindergarten where my children stayed, when I see the buildings where my friends used to live, some of them are no longer with us. So this is emotional. This is sad.
There is no sign of the 20-mile exclusion zone around the reactor being lifted, a reminder that when nuclear power goes wrong, it can go very badly wrong. Daniel Sanford, BBC News, Chernobyl.
Давай!
From 1917 to 1991, Russia was controlled by a communist government. The name of the country was the Soviet Union. This region is a transition from a command to market economy. Since the breakup of the Soviet Union, there have been many political and economic difficulties.
Russia has little capital to develop their infrastructure. Countries depend on existing rail and water routes. One major railroad is called the Trans-Siberian Railroad, and it was completed in 1905.
The classic Trans-Siberian journey begins in the Russian capital city of Moscow and ends in the Pacific port city of Vladivostok. Now, this journey can be reversed if you wish to do that, but there are also numerous other options and all kinds of routes that you can choose from.
So, for example, you have the Trans-Siberian route, which we mentioned above, which is Moscow to Vladivostok. There's also the Trans-Mongolian, which takes you from Moscow to Beijing, and then you take a stop in Mongolia along the way.
Mm-hmm. You've also got the Trans-Manchurian route, which is a lot like the Trans-Mongolian route, except for you go through Manchuria rather than Mongolia, obviously. There's the Baikal-Amur main line, or BAM. That'd be fun to take.
I'd call it the BAM.
Yes. And that carries travelers across several different remote parts of Siberia, so that one would be fun too, a little less city-ish.
I guess it seems like it's more of the Wild West, kind of off the beaten path, if you're a little more adventurous.
Travelers can take a nonstop trip from one end to the other, or you can hop off and on as you please and stay for a little while in a city or a destination.
Depending on what you want to do and what route you take, the duration of your trip will vary. So, for example, if you take the main one from Moscow to Vladivostok, that takes about 7 days nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Trans-Mongolian takes about 6 days nonstop, and the Trans-Manchurian takes a little bit more than 6. But obviously that's going to vary a lot if you make stops and you get off and you get back on.
Sure.
And there are lots of different routes, so it can really vary. I mean, you could stretch it out into like a month-long travel experience. So.
And one thing to keep in mind is the train only moves at an average of 60 kilometers per hour, which is a little over 37 miles per hour. So you're going to have plenty of time to enjoy the passing scenery.
This is not a bullet train.
No, but it's just a relaxing...
Yeah.
It's a journey.
Yeah.
Several guides and travelers have talked about this. Really, one of the best parts about taking this journey is meeting your fellow passengers and spending some time with them and just getting to know your fellow man.
There are different options for the cabins. There are first-class options to third-class open carriage options. But a lot of sources will say that as compared to other major trains, especially travel trains. This is not really a luxury train. Like, I think one or two maybe of the lines have nicer trains, and the first class ones may have showers, but your second class ones may not. But anyway, so this railway, there's a lot more we could talk about, but you know, this railway is just really, I mean, it's like 1 million travel experiences packed into one potentially. So we think it's really cool stuff.
Absolutely.
And we hope you can check it out someday. I know it's on my list now.
It's a great way to get to the Lake Baikal.
Yeah, we forgot to mention that. That's one of the places you'll often be able to see on the trip, so might be nice. So anyway, so if you want to learn any more about Russia or China or Siberia, Mongolia, or railroads, anything we talked about today, just head to howstuffworks.com. We have a bunch of content. And yeah, just go feed your mind.
Brilliant.
Russia is famous for the type of dance called ballet. St. Petersburg holds one of the world's largest dance companies, also famous for its music. Tchaikovsky is one example.
Fabergé eggs were designed by Carl Fabergé. He made Easter eggs for the Russian czars.
She's all neck and legs, look at her.
Oh, I am looking at her.
Stop looking at her!
You just told me to look at her!
Ow!
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 Ow! That's right, I mean, shoot! 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 Oh! I don't think you'd do it.
£7,800,000. For a moment, the room went silent, and here it is.
£8 million and selling it, filming it, sold for £8 million.
An unprecedented sale setting a new world record price for a Russian decorative artwork, $18.5 million. That's how much was paid for a stunning Fabergé egg.
The last price, the last world record price for Fabergé egg was achieved at Christie's in 2004 for around $10 million. Yes, we are happy and we are very excited to have this one in London.
It is one of the most unique Carl Fabergé's eggs, only one of the 3 known eggs that include a timepiece and a clockwork cockerel. It is also just one of the 12 known to have been made to imperial standards for anyone other than the former Russian Tsars. and up until now, it was owned by the Rothschild, and auction houses have devoted the whole week to Russian art, with paintings, icons, rare books, silverware, and many other objects. But this is the masterpiece that commanded the most attention. Despite huge interest from international collectors, the egg has ended up in Russian hands, and experts say that the chances that another such unknown egg will appear in an auction anytime soon are close to zero. The happy buyer, Alexander Ivanov, director of the Russian National Museum, which is a group of private Russian art collectors, will take the egg back to Russia. And from now on, he will go down in history as another Fabergé egg owner, but one of the few who every hour on the hour will be able to enjoy this diamond cockerel strutting his stuff. Daria Pushkova, Russia Today, London.
Matryoshka dolls are figures that nest inside of each other. It means little mother.
Tiny one.
All right, put them in. Put them together.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And this one?
Mm-hmm.
Does it fit?
Are you sure? Keep trying.
Does it?
Okay, try the next one.
Does it go here?
Mm-hmm.
Is this good?
Mm-hmm.
Look at it. Does it go in here?
Mm-hmm.
And this go on top?
Yep.
It's too big.
No, it fits. Now put in the next one.
And this goes there, and this goes up.
Mm-hmm.
And go here, and the one goes to the top.
Oh, what a day. Network crash, lost me wallet, phone's run out of battery. Couldn't get any worse. Ugh! Oh, cracking stuff.
Oh, that's not Alan. Steve, that's Steve.
Steve! 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 Steve!
Samovars were family tea urns. They rest in the center of the home. Early ones were made of brass and copper and were heated by coal.
Siberian villages are homes of wood for most who either fish or herd reindeer. Houses are spread out and there are chalet-style homes.
Soviet-style apartment blocks are small and cramped and were built by the Soviet Union.
She looks like your average teenage girl, diligent at school while juggling her after-school activities. And of course she's always on her mobile phone, except Katya is rather an exceptional girl. She's not on the phone to her friends, she's talking to residents in her village. Hers is a hotline for those who want action to make their hometown a better place. Fed up with her village not getting a look in for vital funding and resources, she took action, repeatedly calling the regional governor, and now she's his right-hand woman. She now has the power vested in her to make things happen, even when she should be studying hard. So what exactly has the 15-year-old achieved? Buses used to come here just 2 or 3 times a day, not enough to get elderly people into the city and school kids to school. But now they come 8 or 9 times a day, which means there's no excuse for children to be late for class. The water coming from these taps before was scientifically proven to be unsafe, but now thanks to $1 million being spent, all thanks to Katja, there's now good, clean, safe water coming from these taps for people like this young one to drink. Villagers were being stung by high prices for having to pay privately for their electricity supply. The old system was ripped out, a new one put in place. Now people have electricity flowing through their homes 24/7, all because Katja said, let there be light.
I basically don't have time for anything else, apart from school, tutors and music school. I don't have time to go anywhere else.
Her next project, the roads. And yes, she is already on the case. She's achieved all of this in such a short space of time, and it's all the more incredible when you learn of the personal tragedies this youngster has had to deal with. She lost her mum when only 8 years old, and this is all that's left of the home she shared with her grandparents until recently, when it was destroyed by a gas explosion. Her proud grandparents have been surprised by her move into regional politics, but say the power hasn't gone to her head.
She's always been independent and serious, since she was born. But she's more interested in politics and economy, asking for definitions of specific terms.
A born leader, an organiser. Where does her future lie? Most likely politics or journalism. She says it's just too early to decide. And for now, she's happy just hanging out as your average teenager with her friends. Anne Smith, Russia Today.
Russian Orthodox Church. Split from the Catholic Church, they use icons which are representations of people of the Church. St. Basil's Cathedral. Cathedral inside the Kremlin in Moscow, Russia, built by Ivan IV.
It looks more like a cluster of brilliantly colored hot air balloons than a cathedral. This is St. Basil's, or the Cathedral of the Intercession of the Virgin by the Moat. This flamboyantly shaped and colored building is one of Russia's most important churches. The cathedral was started in 1555 as 8 chapels built around a larger 9th. There have been several theories about the design of St. Basil's, but no certain answers. The cathedral has had several additions, and the whole church narrowly escaped destruction under Stalin. St. Basil's is no longer a church. It now operates as a museum. Thank you for watching our travel video series. See you next time.
Kremlin, original old city of Moscow with walls surrounding palaces, cathedrals, and government buildings, seat of Russian government. Red Square, once served as a parade ground, contains tomb of Lenin. Mosques. Much of Central Asia is Muslim. There are Muslim places of worship. They contain minarets. Yurts, home for nomadic peoples of Central Asia. Oriental rugs, oldest known rug found in Central Asia, handmade woven rugs.